Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire. Our edges cut from deep profile, sharp and clean by every buyer. He conquers the markets, he turns water into wine. His timing flows where chaos turns divine. Cut sharp enough to time the sign. Yeah, this man's no common trader. He commands the market's numbers. We call him Chef Bailey. The market bends beneath his flame. Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire. Our edges cut from deep profile, sharp and clean by every buyer. Markets move, they twist and swing. Every tick can burn or blink. Ryan keeps calm, he trusts his thing. The charts tell him everything. But when T1 makes ding, 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 the futures spread their hidden wing. And he is ready for anything. Vic's still looking like a restless king.
Ready to stop guessing and start growing as a trader. Welcome to Vici Trading Solutions, a community built by real traders for serious learners. We don't just post trades, we teach the why behind every move. With a full education section and daily breakdowns, you'll start seeing the market like a pro. You won't be trading alone. Inside the Vici Discord, you're surrounded by committed traders, from futures pros to rising crypto specialists, all learning and winning together. Gain first access to our exclusive indicators, powerful tools used daily by hundreds across TradingView and beyond. These aren't gimmicks, they're built to sharpen your edge. Each morning, our founder posts a full trading plan for the S&P 500 or NASDAQ and calls out the levels he's watching live. No fluff, just clarity. Education, tools, community. Whether you trade futures, stock, or crypto, Vici gives you the foundation and firepower to grow. Join Vici, trade smarter, conquer the markets.
And we are back. Happy 420, everybody. It is officially my favorite holiday. Congratulations, we are here. I should have worn my weed hat. I know. I messed up. I thought about it as the thing was coming on. I'm like, oh, I dropped the ball on that one. But hey, what are you going to do? This is, it felt like the market was all high today too, right? They were super slow today. Man, slow motion as can be. So we're going to keep this post-market breakdown short and sweet. We're going to get into it. I'm going to basically talk about what we did today, which was very little. We took one trade, worked out, short, whatever. And we're going to talk about a little bit more into the plan and talk about exactly what I'm expecting to happen this week. And ultimately, we're cruising again, all-time high surfing. Here we are, summertime, positive gamma. If you thought trading was exciting, this is trading. This is really what it is. For those of you who came in a negative gamma volatility and we were getting 100-point ranges and doing all this good, I'm glad you had fun with it because that is not the normal. What you're seeing today is pretty much the normal, especially when you start to get into the all-time high surfing, positive gamma. Really, it's really positive gamma. That's really what it has to do with. That has everything to do with it. It's amazing how you can feel it. And yeah, man, 420. A little fun fact. And I know this kind of, this is totally left field. Do you guys know Hitler's birthday is today? Pretty crazy, right? Think I'm lying? Check this out. This is crazy. Look, this is. I told my kid, and he was like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude. Hitler's birthday is on 420. Just so happens it's such a happy holiday for those of us who are pure stoners." But also Hitler's birthday. Pretty crazy. Little fun fact here. So, whatever. We learn something new every day, right? So there you go. So guys, check this out. If you have not signed up for this yet, I put the links in the plan or in the bio or whatever you want to call it in the post. I'll actually include it right now in the comments section. If you haven't signed up for this, I suggest that you do it. It's free. This is the SPX Edge. This is something that comes out every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. I am only doing 500 subscribers, everybody. We already have 120, and it's only been out a day. Okay, so I just started having people sign up for it Saturday or Sunday, something like that. And so I'm going to go ahead and put it in the comments for both YouTube and Substack, and it should be automatically in the comments for Twitter. I'm not really sure. If not, you're going to have to come to one of these channels and find it, or just look at the post. Long story short, sign up for this. It gives all the value areas. It gives market profile charts, where we're at in value for TWAP, which is essentially VWAP, bull bear sentiment, and really the part that I like the most, which is the top 5 headlines in the morning. So make sure you sign up for this. It's super simple. Put in your first name, email, hit the button, and you are done. You go right into queue. And when I get 500 people, I'm cutting this off. And you know why? It doesn't seem like much, but 500 people times 20 days a month, that is 10,000 emails that I'm sending out. And it actually costs me money to send emails, whether you believe it or not. Yeah, definitely. I'm only going to let the first 500 people get this. So get it while it's hot. This is something that I use all the time. Also, there's another link. Guys, if you are getting the trade plans, make sure you sign up for this trade plan companion. This is awesome stuff. You just put your string in here and it draws all the levels for you, all color coded to our chart. You can add or remove this little box in the corner. But this is great stuff. Just go to Ryan Bailey Edge and you'll find it, or look for the link inside the post. Good stuff. What's up, Michael? Bryce, good to see you. Shane, as usual, always a pleasure. So let's go ahead and get right into it, shall we? This is the post, by the way. If you guys are in the Substack, if you have not signed up for it, grab it. Go read it. This tells you exactly what this is for, what it's doing, what every section does. You can see it even gives you nice little pictures, et cetera, that makes your day a little bit more informed coming into the day. So, guys, follow me across all these socials, YouTube, Substack, X, TradingView. You know what to do. Follow it, re-like it, tweet it. Listen, put this out to our disciples. We have disciples out there. Get them to follow us because we are just making the hits. We make money every day. It seems that way. I mean, for the most part, 70, 80% of the time we make money, which is more than most people can say. So put out the goods out there. We're going to talk about that today as well. We really only had one good setup today, and the market was pretty subtle. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into that right now. Let's just go ahead and make this snappy, huh? So again, right here, we were talking about the historic squeeze and the momentum pivot. And then really what it came down to is breaking down the 7152 gap fill trigger. Okay, so guys, the whole idea was if we get below this area, we're going to come down and fill the gap. And don't you know it, they actually gapped down Sunday and we filled this gap perfectly. The gap I'm talking about is right here. Okay, the overnight session actually filled this perfectly. And then we bounced and we came all the way back into the same exact area. So kind of funny stuff. And then the level played again this morning, which I will soon show you. So anyways, we'll just get into the context here. So as you guys know, we pushed higher and higher, leaving the weekly extremely inefficient. For those of you guys who watched the video, I was talking about this gap, these singles, all these singles down here, more gaps, more inefficiencies. And then again, even more gaps, et cetera. This is all just stuff that is at some point in time will need to get cleaned up. We don't know exactly when they're going to do that, but I can promise you one thing, market makers will not leave those untested for very long. They will absolutely come back and clean those prices up. What is up, JK in the house? JK, people, ladies and gentlemen, let's give JK a round of applause. All right, so anyways, like I said, I do think we come back in this week to start cleaning things up, at least partially. And of course, we did clean that gap up, even though they didn't do it in cash session. But they're going to. Don't worry. We're going to come back down there. The key level to watch is 71.52. As long as we hold above this area, we'll continue to push higher. No real roadblocks. And of course, below that opens the door to fill in that big TPO gap, which we kind of did in the overnight session already. Lo and behold, right? We had the little magic wand out. We knew what was going to happen, right? So the weekly POC is 70.62. It lines up beautifully with the 4-hour 70.60. That is still on the map, ladies and gentlemen. I still want to buy that. Don't get it twisted. If we come down there, my eye is still set on that. So again, just so that you guys know, I talked about this in the weekend review, and I talked about this in the podcast that I had with Bubba. If you guys haven't watched that, that was a lot of fun. It was me, Bubba, and Rob. Definitely check it out. We just shot the shit for an hour. It was fun. So, one of the things I did talk about, though, was this ridiculous historic squeeze that we've had. For those of you guys, I'm sure everybody knows, this massive rally that essentially, went 12% in a matter of 2.5 weeks. This thing was just unbelievable. This was actually one for the record books. This was in the 99.7 percentile of moves since 1950. Unbelievable. I guess they knew it was 420 and they wanted to get high up there. What do you think? You think that was it? I don't know. All right, so look, they gained on all time frames, right? We know that we're up. That goes without saying, especially after last week's close. We are absolutely in positive gamma territory. Positive gamma right now, our gamma flip level is sitting right around 69.50. That is our big above below level in terms of gamma. And what's interesting is that's actually the most sexy, important spot that I have down there is 69.61, which I'll get into. I actually found another level today right there that makes me even like it more. So I'm going to talk to you about that as well. And essentially really come down to that 71.52, which we'll talk about. Above that, we squeeze. Below that, they pull it back. And, the VIX. The VIX is a big deal for us. Guys, that $19 handle is a big deal. We're going to talk about that here real briefly here. So I might as well get into it right now because here it is. Look at that. So, guys, as usual, we talked about this last week. They do this every freaking week. Guys, what they do is when the VIX closes down, right, they usually gap it up on Monday, and then they sell it back. And as long as we don't have any geopolitical events, VIX will normally always sell back. There's a reason for this, guys. Going into the weekend, especially when we're at all-time highs like that, this is the way for people to put on insurance for extremely large positions. So, for instance, say you're long a bunch of Apple calls or whatever. You say you're a fund and you're long a bunch of Mag 7, et cetera, whatever, right? Well, instead of basically just going delta neutral and buying puts for the weekend, you just buy VIX calls. And if VIX ends up, if we end up having a monster move, you're protected in that sense because you make up exponentially in VIX. And so it basically wouldn't make up for all your loss, but it would certainly be a little cushion for us. So essentially that's what happens with VIX all the time. That's what we used to do at the fund that I worked with. It was so cheap to buy a couple $1,000s worth of VIX calls just as insurance, because that couple $1,000s could turn into 20, 30 grand, which is essentially, provided that, if the market dumps, geopolitical headlines, et cetera, and then that kind of makes up for a good portion of your loss. So as you can see, this is what our plan was. As long as they remain above or below $19, above that, indices stay suppressed. Below it, we start to get a little headwind. Well, we basically gapped up above it and we started to sell back. And then as you guys know, we were below it. We were moving up this morning. The moment we open the market open, we're drifting up into our 71.52, the area that we gapped down from yesterday. And then VIX just kind of reversed for us and started popping and going up above 19. And as you guys know, we got a pretty violent move down. It was just all at once today. We got that one move and that was basically it. That was our spike up, and then they sold it right back. And as you guys know, we've drifted higher ever since. Very slow, very, very tough market to trade today. We took the one short in the room, got the heck out of there at 12. So I'll show you exactly what that is right now, and then we'll go from there, okay? Because I got a few things I want to talk about here. I don't know why this thing is not let me tab over. All right, let me just do it like this. All right, so let's do it like this one right here. So here we go. We had the gap fill trigger 71.52. That was here. It was derived from the profile, guys. If you watch the TPO or the market breakdown, this was my big above below line. As you can see, I really was looking for this area to get filled in here. We had a naked point of control, a few other things. We got super duper close and then they failed. And as soon as we closed below the 71.52, we were able to get short. I honestly tried to pull this all the way down here. I ended up taking a target today at the very low at 71.22, which worked out really well. But we knew that this was the 71.52. If above it, we continue to push higher and accept value. Below it, we continue to push down and accept, and start to fill in the probabilities and efficiencies. And guys, that is exactly what happened. As you know, we basically gapped below this, and the current low, which we'll look at when I pull up the candlestick charts, was literally the gap fill. Okay, I mean, it was the gap fill, which is insane. And then we just squeezed up all day. By the time we opened this in the market, we already had an 80-point range coming into the morning, which is pretty wild. So I, expected a little pullback from this area, and we got it, and we paid like 30 points on that. And so life was good. You can see here's the area that we were all short from the room. 71.52. I was actually adding into this as we come down. So I had 5 on at one point. I had 2 left once we got here. And then this was the final target here for me, the 71.21. Tried to bring it all the way down into 11, just couldn't get it. Ended up getting a break even here as they basically balanced all day. And I don't know if you guys looked at the market, but they waited for this market to close before we pushed up a little higher. And we actually went all the way back into this area and touched this naked point of control towards the close. So, this was pretty docile day today. We got this one move down. If you weren't long from last Sunday or from the overnight, it was really hard to get long on this morning, just because we opened, basically at the highs or whatever. Trader NQ, what's up in the house? Trader NQ, good to see you. So that is what's up with the plan today. Not a whole lot of movement, unfortunately. Like I said, everybody must be celebrating 420, even these hedge funds, But I will show you exactly what's cracking here. So check this out. I'll bring this over as we're going to start talking a little bit about ES here. So as you can see, this whole gap was filled last night. But again, I don't really consider that filled because I only like it to be filled in the cash session. But it was interesting that they ended up coming all the way down and filling this up, coming all the way up here and playing our area here. And so the real question remains, people keep asking me, Ryan, what are we going to do? We're going to keep going up. Listen, I don't have a crystal ball. But what I do know is that we have a lot of market inefficiencies below, and we have no reason to believe that they're not going to go higher. And I know that doesn't help a lot of people. Like, what the fuck? Well, listen, I don't know, right? But what I do know is when I look at the profile right now like this, just like I showed you guys, this is all tattered, okay? My first spot that I'm really looking at is right around 7. It's the POC, right around 70.62. I think we can come here. I think we can come here soon. I really do. But it really matters whether they accept value up into this area here, which, as you can see, we have a massive amount of volume. And if I can just go ahead and draw this 52 again, I'll put it on here just so you can see. That's it right there. Okay. So are we going to stay above this? If we are, we continue to squeeze higher. We have the previous weekly value area high. If not, we're going to stay below here. And we're eventually going to gravitate back down into the previous weekly point of control. We have some singles that need to get cleaned up down here, et cetera, that could easily be inefficiency targets. Now, do I think we're going to come all the way down and fill this gap down here? Believe it or not, this is a big freaking range. Like, this is 1 week, but we're at 71.52. This is 69.50. This is 200 points way down here. So it doesn't look like a lot, but there is a lot of support in between here, which I'm going to show you when I pull the candlestick charts up here shortly. But this is ultimately my first spot that I really like, which is the 70.60 area. And I have a lot of reasons to believe that, which I'll get into here with you real shortly. Actually, we'll just go ahead and do it right now. So look, check this out. We actually have a 1 hour level that is kind of a little intermediate level. I saw Bryce talking about it today. I think, Bryce, you and I were just thirsty as hell to get a trade in because we were both looking at this 1 hour level, just frothing at it. Guys, Bryce is in the Discord room, and he's a gangster. So, and he's a great trader, and he was eyeing this 1 hour level that we were looking at down here. 71.06 was the support that was made on the move up. They also trapped a bunch of sellers down here. We were really looking for this to play and get back above 10 and squeeze for us. They just never could come down here. As you know, I had those targets down to 11 thinking that we could get there. They just couldn't get the job done. So with that being said, would I be looking for this to play again? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think so. I think I would, as long as they do the actionable setup, right? I'm not going to set a resting order there, but if they play 06 and reclaim 10, which is this big put wall here, for those of you guys who looked at the plan, had the put wall, this is a monster spot. Okay, so if they reclaim this, we just continue to push back higher, right? If not, we come lower. And then I really honestly like this spot here at 69. I wanted to buy this Friday. We never got there, right? So to me, this is still available. 69 plays, we get back above essentially 75. We should squeeze nice and high. We should at least come to this high here. This would be, basically my first target here, which is 89. So we're talking like 20 points. And I think that's a great first target personally. And then, see if we can go higher. Now, are there more spots that we can buy? Of course. And again, we have singles right here on the weekly, guys. And we have a previous all-time high at 43. I also think that they could sweep this low, clean that single up, play that all-time high, and pop back up and reclaim this area and start to squeeze again. These are all possibilities, okay? But if I had to really kind of put it down on paper and say, here's what I'm going to take. I like the 7069. That's first. But it's a 4-hour time frame, which is great. That's one of my favorite time frames. However, it doesn't really clean much up. I'd really like to come down a little bit further. And when we're talking about buy spots, let me just go ahead and pull this down for you guys right now so you can see what I'm talking about. First off, Bryce, pay attention. You might have saw this. Maybe you did. Maybe you didn't. I'm going to show you. Actually, I will show you this here in a second. So let me just pull this down here. So I'm going to show you guys on my ETH chart. It looks pretty clean. I like it. So my very first spot to buy is 70.2275. I like this spot. It is the very top support. And I think, based on how it's played previously, I think this area gets some love. And I kind of like it. And if we get back above 70.43, we're just going to squeeze all the way back up. That's how that works. Okay. Now, underneath 70.22, we have one more level here. And I can't quite decide if it's tested or not. Technically, by my process, it is not tested. And that is the weekly at 7,004. We also have a tested daily at 7,003. But again, for some reason, when I look at this, it's been tested on the RTH side. It was untested on the ETH side. I just don't know how I feel about it. Okay. So I really need to let it prove itself before I get excited about it. But ultimately, if 7,004 plays and gets back above 22, I know we're groovy. I know there's a smaller little area in there that we could get back above. I think we talked about it in the trade plan. I think it was like 70.10 would give us the confidence to basically engage on this level. But ultimately, this level's kind of iffy. So here's the spot that I'm talking about, Bryce. I'm going to pull this over for you just so you can see, because I found it kind of just, messing around. We have a badass monthly right here, 69.63. That's a gangster spot, bro. This is a good spot. And I saw this today. Didn't even get a chance to talk about it in the trade plan or in the weekend review. But what we do have there, which is the weekly that I don't know if you recall, but I talked about how much I liked this spot in the weekend review. Had nothing to do with the monthly, had everything to do with the weekly at 69.63. And then we have this big ass leg down right here. Look at this massive leg down, right? So this is a top down untested spot. So this spot now has a monthly, weekly, and a daily spot here. I would look for this to hold and play. If this doesn't hold, they got some problems. Okay. I'm just going to put it to you like that. This is the spot. This is my line in the sand. It can't go any further. And I also think that this has a very high probability of getting a major reaction. So really my favorite spots are 70.22. Even though I'm not really loving 7,004, I'm going to look at it. Right. But ultimately it really comes down to 69.61. They hold this, zoom, zoom, zoom. Remember the Mazda commercial? Because that's exactly what will happen. We'll come down, we'll test this, and we'll just go right back up. So these two are really ultimately my favorites. So that's it for the S&P, guys. That's what I got. The other thing I wanted to show you guys is if you guys have been following along, and I talk about this, you don't even have to be a subscriber to know about this stuff, okay? Just tell you straight up. I've been putting this stuff out for free. This is the gold trade, guys. I am still long gold from $4,100 from way down here, right? We are up big time right now. Everybody should be in this trade. Actually, I'm long from, I'll have to look. I'll show you guys. Anyways, just from down here, I'm trying to get to 58. That would be a 20% move. I'm up about 15% on this thing right now, which I'll soon show you. And we're just cooking along here. The other one I wanted to show you is, guys, I called this one out literally the day before. Actually, gold was 2 days before. This one was the other day. This was literally the day before. This is snow. So I on vacation, I sent a thing out and said, hey guys, I'm buying snow at 121. Okay. And then it swept the low, closed back above. And then we have just been rocketing ever since. This thing has just been running. I actually added into this trade this morning. We are super duper cruising. And again, from down here, this thing is up 24% already. Absolutely an unbelievable move. And then one of my favorites that I've been sitting in for a long time, guys, and we're finally starting to get some mojo. And maybe because it's 420, I don't know. But here we go. These are weed stocks, MSOS, We're finally getting the mojo. As you guys know, we rode this whole move up. We made 200% on our money on this one. And when we came back down in here, I told everybody, I'm going to buy $3.89 and $3.50 and $3.07, 17 cents, whatever. I'm buying it all, right? Because I ultimately believe that at some point in time, they'll legalize cannabis. And this has really just a massive amount of upside, as you can see. And we're starting to get a little boogie here, which makes me excited. So just so you guys know, on a super small account, I'm not bullshitting. If I tell you guys that I'm going to take a trade or I call a trade out, sometimes I don't even tell you I'm getting in it. But if I call the trade out, you best believe I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. As you can see, these are very small positions, right? 1,000 shares, 1,100 shares, whatever. This is up 10%. This one's up 5%. Let's see where we at. 15%, excuse me. The gold is up another 12%. I took half off of this already. Haven't taken anything off of snow yet. General Mills, this is one that I'm actually sitting on right now. I like this. This pays a good, healthy dividend. I'm a big fan of this. But Moss is going to be great, you guys. Moss is going to be a good one. So anyways, I just wanted to show you. If I show if it's in the plan, if I'm putting it out there to you guys, you best believe I'm putting my money where my mouth is. And so that's exciting stuff because they are all working out right now. And I'm just super stoked. So with that being said, I could not be happier with the way things are working out. It has been a super, super profitable past couple months, really 6 months to a year. We've just absolutely just gangbusters. So I hope you guys have enjoyed all the content I've been putting out. A lot of the stuff I put out for free. All the gold stuff I put out for free, the snowflake stuff I put out for free, the weed stuff I put out for free. Really, everything is free except for the S&P 500 trade plan. So if you're not subscribed to this newsletter, I'm sorry. If you're just like, oh yeah, I'll catch the stream. Listen, do yourself a favor. Follow along, like, read, subscribe, share with your friends. Do me a favor, right? Get it out there. Let's make some money. So, we're making money. I'm showing you some of the cash accounts. I show you guys my trades every single day. This is real shit. This is what we do. So I hope you guys absolutely enjoyed today's post-market breakdown. We're going to stop right here because there's no need to take it any further. I will be here same time, same channel tomorrow. Don't forget to sign up for the SPX brief. It's free, and I only have 400 slots open. We've already filled 120 in the first 24 hours, so that will not last long. I will see you guys at 8:30 a.m. for the trade plan and tomorrow at 5 o'clock for the post-market breakdown. Be good, deuces, and enjoy your 420 holiday. Cheers.